In the scholarly kingdom of Aurelian Spire, swords were almost myths and books were held sacred. The people lived by a simple, powerful belief. History, when carefully preserved, was the strongest shield against the chaos of the world. Here, towering libraries replaced battlements, and the most honored figures were not generals, but archivists. Among them lived Princess Elara. She was a soft-spoken royal whose greatest weapon was neither her crown nor her voice of command, but a simple wooden loom. Elara possessed an ancient and nearly forgotten magic known as textile animation. Whatever she wove into her tapestries could be gently pulled from the fabric and given a temporary, vibrant life. A woven apple could be plucked and eaten, its taste as real as one from an orchard. A stitched lantern could be lifted from the cloth to cast a warm, steady glow. Even a dragon, if embroidered with the utmost precision and respect, could briefly breathe a plume of fire before dissolving back into harmless thread. But Elara's tapestries were more than just clever tricks. They carried memory. Each thread was infused with fragments of history, emotion, and intention. Her creations weren't just objects. They were echoes of the past, brought lovingly into the present. A blanket woven with the memory of a grandmother's hug could soothe a crying child. A tapestry depicting a forgotten festival could fill a room with the faint sounds of music and laughter. Then disaster struck Aurelian Spire. A terrible drought descended upon the land, turning mighty rivers into paths of dust and leaving the fields to wither and crack. The kingdom's vast knowledge was put to the test. Scholars pored over ancient tomes, their fingers tracing forgotten scripts, searching desperately for a solution. Finally, they found it, a legend older than the kingdom itself. The prophecy spoke of a rain cloud, woven not with ordinary thread, but with strands of pure fallen starlight. Only such a creation could call the water back to the thirsty land. Elara knew what she had to do. As she prepared her loom, a dark shadow returned from exile. It was Veilthorn, a bitter sorcerer who had once been a master archivist himself. He believed knowledge was a tool for power, something to be wielded and used to rule, not to serve. Consumed by jealousy and a twisted sense of purpose, he crept into the palace in the dead of night. He stole Elara's loom, the heart of her magic, and fled into the wild lands beyond the kingdom, a place where history was unwritten and magic ran raw and untamed. Without her loom, Elara's greatest power was gone. Or so it seemed. Refusing to let her kingdom perish, she decided to follow Veilthorn. She left the safety of the spire alone, armed only with a satchel of small, enchanted handkerchiefs. Each one was embroidered with simple symbols she had woven during quiet moments of practice, little spells of thread she never thought she'd need. Her journey took her through whispering forests, across sun-scorched deserts, and into the shadows of forgotten ruins. And as she traveled, Elara discovered the true depth of her craft. The magic wasn't just in the loom. It was in the thread, in the intention, in the very act of weaving. A handkerchief stitched with the image of leaves could be unfolded into a sheltering tree, providing cover for a single night before its fibers frayed. A cloth marked with the symbol of waves could be wrung out to produce a cup of clean, cool drinking water. A tiny sun motif, no bigger than her thumb, could release a burst of warmth against the biting cold of the frozen lands. Each use of her magic came at a cost. The handkerchiefs would unravel slightly, their edges fraying, reminding her that magic, just like history, must be used with care and respect. It was a finite resource, a story that could only be told so many times before it faded away. Along the way, she met people who lived without written records, nomads who charted their history in the stars, storytellers whose voices carried epics, and children who passed down memories through song. She listened to them, sharing her small magics in exchange for their tales. And in their faces and their voices, she realized a profound truth. History did not only live in the stone archives of Aurelian Spire, it lived in people. It breathed in their songs and moved in their traditions. Finally, Elara's journey led her to the edge of a vast crater, shimmering with the dust of a fallen star. There she found Veilthorn, desperate and broken. He had Elara's loom, and he was using its power to weave chaotic storms. Lightning tore at the sky and thunder shook the ground, but his magic was born of anger and control. It could not heal the land, it could only scar it further. He didn't understand that the loom required a gentle hand, a giving spirit. Elara reclaimed her loom not by force, but by weaving one final powerful tapestry. She used her remaining frayed handkerchiefs and a single precious thread of starlight she had carried with her all along. But she didn't just weave a rain cloud. Inspired by the people she had met, she wove remembrance. She wove the stories of the farmers praying for their crops, the scholars searching for answers, the travelers who gave her shelter, and the children singing their songs. She wove the history of the land and its people, binding the sky and the earth together in a single beautiful story. And as she finished the final stitch, the rain began to fall. It wasn't a violent storm like Felthorn's, but a gentle, steady shower that soaked into the parched earth, bringing life back to the world. The drought was over. When Elara returned home, she was no longer just a princess. She was a storyteller, a listener, a weaver of worlds. She changed Aurelian Spire forever. The kingdom kept its magnificent libraries, its treasured books and scrolls, but now it also learned to listen. It listened to the living voices of its people, understanding that history isn't something that is only written down in a book. It is lived, it is sung, and sometimes it is woven. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment with your favorite part, and subscribe for more tales from worlds beyond our own. Until next time,